Hey everybody, thanks for checking out today's Quick Mix Media Techniques video. I appreciate it so much. Today I'm working with a glue stick, Faber-Castell glaze, Tim Holtz Distress glaze, crayons, a gelato, food coloring, and a stencil. And I'm just going to try these little experiments or techniques on this scrap piece of paper that I've covered with gesso, the entire surface. I cover it with a light layer of gesso. I'm going to go ahead and work in the areas first that will be the wettest, and that's going to be the glaze and the both glazes. I'm going to take a chunk off of this gelato and mix it with the Faber-Castell glaze and tint that a little bit. What I want to see is if the glaze will act as a resist, particularly on this paper and with the food coloring. You know, I was going to clean my surface up real well underneath because it looks horrible on camera, but the truth is this is really just how the studio is. I just gotta keep it real, man. Okay, so now I'm putting down some distress glaze, and then I'm going to do a quick swipe of the glue stick over in that area, a couple swirls over there, and then I'll just add some markings with this yellow and white crayon. And now I'm really just trying to dry the glue stick a little bit and that Faber-Castell glaze. And this is just food coloring. It's a couple of drops of food coloring in with some water. The colors come out very rich. And again, this is just on gesso only, nothing else. I'm taking off some of that color through a stencil. And I like the effects of that. You can see where the gesso is and where the gesso isn't. Where it's darker, that's where the gesso is not. And then I've just added a couple of droplets of water to show how it reacts with water and that it's similar to the Tim Holtz Distress inks. And again, this is food coloring on the glue stick. And when I dab the color off, those darker areas, that's where the glue stick was swirled at. And now we're moving over to the Faber-Castell glaze. Now this, I'm not sure if it's watercolor or not because I didn't label it, but I think it is. Not watercolor, excuse me, food coloring. And now I'm just trying to buff off some of that color, which it is not moving. If it was distress ink, I know I would be able to buff the color off the top of that. So now I'm going to spread some food coloring over the Tim Holtz Distress glaze area that I ran through a stencil. And where it's all beaded up at, that's where the distress glaze is at. However, as you can see, this did not work well. That's okay. Moving on. Try out my crayon and food coloring. Now that looks great. Now I'll see if I can buff off some of the color in the waxy area. And I don't know why I just added water to that, but I should not have because it just smeared it. I have no idea what I'm trying to explain there. But when I'm looking back at that blob, do you see that face that's in there? So I just need to trace that out before I lose the vision of it. I love finding that in my artwork, the blobs, the way things take shape and whatnot. So I definitely have to catch it when I see it. So the Faber-Castell glaze is still a bit tacky. And if you want to get rid of any of the tackiness, just take some wax paper and rub it over the area. Rub it over your entire art journal page. It's actually going to give it a really nice feel and a slight little sheen to it. And I'm just adding some color just to take up this space. This is food coloring. And as you can see real quick, I grabbed an art journal book and dabbed the rest of that color off into the book. I like to work on multiple things at one time. I'm really just pointing out these blotches of color like that. So that was the glue stick, Faber-Castell glaze. That's the crayons, and that is just gesso and food coloring, and that is just gesso and food coloring. So I want to thank you for watching. Do me a favor, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, give me that thumbs up, and hit that bell so you can be notified of the next video. Bye-bye.